Princess Mira of Zalora stood at the high balcony of the palace, watching the purple-hued skies of her planet. The sun was low, casting long shadows across the city. Zalora was a peaceful planet, full of advanced technology and beautiful structures that glowed softly in the evening light. The people of Zalora were proud of their culture and knowledge, but they had never met humans before. Stories about other planets and distant civilizations existed, but they were mostly theoretical. Today was different. Today, a delegation from a distant star called Earth was arriving at the capital. Mira's curiosity had grown for weeks. Who were these humans? How strong were they? How intelligent? And why did they want to meet Zalora? The palace had been preparing for their arrival with meticulous care. Streets were cleaned, guards stationed at every corner, and banners displayed the colors of Zalora's royal house. The hovercar carrying the humans landed smoothly on the landing pad outside the palace. Mira observed from above, noting their simple yet elegant design. A group of humans disembarked. They were unlike any Zaloran had seen before. Their skin tones were varied, and their hair came in many shades. But what drew her attention most was a man walking quietly among them. His movements were calm, precise, and he carried an air of quiet confidence. Mira did not know his name yet, but she would soon. "Your Highness," said Minister Tilo, bowing slightly. "The humans have arrived. Their leader is a man named Rin." Mira nodded and descended to meet them. She had always believed in showing respect to guests, but her curiosity about Rin was stronger than her sense of formality. When Rin approached, Mira noticed his calm expression. There was no arrogance, no exaggerated gestures, just quiet strength. He extended his hand politely. "Princess Mira," Rin said in a clear voice, "it is an honor to meet you." The words were simple yet respectful. Mira felt an unexpected warmth in his presence. Something about him made her feel that he was different from other beings she had met. She shook his hand, noticing the firmness of his grip, a subtle signal of strength. Over the next hour, the humans were escorted through the palace. Mira walked with Rin, showing him the grand halls, the gardens, and the training arenas. Soldiers and guards noticed Rin's steady steps, his calm manner. Unlike other visitors, he did not stare at the technology or ask too many questions. He observed quietly, listening carefully, watching the world around him. As they walked near the palace gates, a sudden disturbance broke the calm. A group of rebels who opposed the royal house had slipped through the outer defenses. They carried small energy weapons and moved quickly, planning to create chaos and steal resources. Guards shouted warnings and panic spread among the palace staff. Rin's reaction was immediate. Without hesitation, he moved forward, placing himself between the rebels and the fleeing guards. Mira froze for a moment, unsure of what to do. The rebels lunged, but Rin was faster than they expected. With precise movements, he disarmed one attacker and knocked another to the ground without hurting them seriously. The guards, inspired by Rin's actions, regained their courage. They followed his lead, surrounding the intruders. Rin moved like a shadow, calm and controlled, every strike calculated and purposeful. Mira watched in amazement. She had read about humans being capable, but seeing Rin's strength firsthand was extraordinary. When the skirmish ended, the rebels were captured. No guard was seriously hurt, and Rin stood in the middle of the gate, breathing calmly as if nothing had happened. Mira approached him, her eyes wide with surprise. "You fought with incredible skill," she said softly. "I have never seen anything like it." Rin shook his head. "I only wanted to help. Your people were in danger and I could not stand by." Mira felt a mix of admiration and curiosity. There was something about Rin that was different. Humans, she realized, might have hidden strengths that Zalora had never imagined. And Rin in particular was unlike any human she had read about in the ancient records. The next few days were filled with discussions, meetings, and demonstrations. Mira watched Rin interact with the palace staff. He spoke politely, listened carefully, and offered practical solutions to small problems around the palace. But what fascinated her most was his physical ability. When a heavy piece of machinery malfunctioned in the training hall, Rin lifted it effortlessly, surprising the engineers. When a simulation of an emergency was staged, Rin moved faster than anyone else, coordinating the response with skill and calmness. Mira began to spend more time with Rin. She asked questions about his home, Earth, and about humans. Rin answered honestly, speaking of simple lives, challenges, and teamwork. He never boasted about his strength, And yet it became clear to Mira that he was far beyond ordinary. His humility made his abilities even more impressive. One evening, Mira took Rin to the palace gardens. The twin moons reflected softly on the surface of the water and the air was calm. Mira wanted to understand him better. "Rin," she said carefully, "your strength and skill, it is unlike anything I have seen. How do humans learn this?" Rin smiled slightly. "We learn through practice, discipline, and the desire to protect others. Strength is not just about power. It is about knowing when and how to use it." Mira considered his words. She realized that humans had a different approach to courage and combat. They valued honor, restraint, and intelligence alongside strength. She felt both admiration and curiosity. Could someone like Rin change the way Zalorans thought about humans? Could he inspire her people to see humans as allies rather than just visitors? The next morning, news arrived that small mining colonies near the planet's outer rings had been attacked by unknown raiders. The citizens were frightened and the royal advisors debated what to do. Mira remembered Rin's calm courage and decided to involve him in the defense plans. "Rin," she said, "these attacks are new to us. I would like you to help our soldiers prepare. Your experience could save lives." Rin nodded. "I will do my best, Princess Mira. We must protect your people." The training sessions began in the palace's grand arena. Soldiers were initially nervous, unsure how to follow a human instructor. But Rin's calm authority and precise demonstrations won their trust quickly. He taught them not just combat techniques, but strategy, observation, and teamwork. Each day, Mira observed silently from the balcony, noting how soldiers improved under Rin's guidance. She could see their confidence grow. Through these days, a subtle bond grew between Mira and Rin. She admired not only his strength but also his patience, humility, and wisdom. Rin admired her as well, her intelligence, her sense of responsibility, and her dedication to her people. Each respected the other deeply, and each was surprised by the other's capabilities. On the fifth day, a small incident occurred that left Mira even more amazed. A training robot malfunctioned, spinning wildly and threatening to hit several soldiers. Rin stepped forward, moving faster than the eye could follow. He stopped the robot with a single precise action, preventing any harm. The soldiers cheered, and Mira's heart filled with surprise and admiration. "That was incredible," she said later, when Rin walked with her through the palace gardens again. "You make strength seem natural." Rin shook his head humbly. "Strength is only useful when it protects others. I only do what I must." Mira realized then that humans had a way of balancing power with responsibility. She had underestimated them, and she began to see Rin as more than a visitor. He was someone who could inspire her people, someone who could teach them not only to defend themselves but to act with honor. As the sun set over the city, Mira looked at Rin and thought about the future. This human, quiet and strong, might be the key to protecting Zalora and forging new alliances. She felt excitement, curiosity, and something she could not yet name, a sense that her life, and the life of her planet, was about to change forever. In the coming days, she knew, new challenges would appear. Raiders, strange technology, and unknown enemies awaited. But with Rin by her side, she felt hope. And she knew, deep in her heart, that humans were capable of more than she had ever imagined. And so, Princess Mira and Rin, the quiet human with legendary strength, began a journey that would test courage, wisdom, and the true meaning of strength across the stars. The sun rose over Zalora, casting golden light across the palace and the city beyond. Princess Mira walked along the marble corridors, thinking about the events of the past week. The humans had arrived, and one of them, Rin, had shown strength and wisdom unlike any she had ever seen. Today, the palace had scheduled discussions on trade, culture, and defense strategies with the human delegation. Mira felt a mix of excitement and curiosity. She wanted to understand Rin better, not only as a visitor but as someone who had already proven himself in the field. As she entered the main hall, she saw Rin speaking quietly with her advisors. He was calm, polite, and seemed completely focused on the plans being discussed. Mira noticed how he listened carefully before speaking, offering ideas that were simple yet clever. "Rin," Mira said as she approached, "thank you for helping with the soldiers' training. They speak highly of your guidance." Rin bowed slightly. "I only teach what I know, Princess Mira. Your people are capable, They only need direction and practice, Mira smiled. She liked the way he did not boast about his abilities. In every action he showed strength, intelligence, and humility. Your ways are different from ours, she said. Tell me, what is Earth like? Are humans trained like you from birth? Rin shook his head. No, we are not born strong. We grow through practice, through learning, and through helping others. Strength is earned, not given. Mira considered his words. She realized humans might have values that were unfamiliar to her people. They did not only rely on technology or strategy, they relied on courage, honor, and cooperation. The day passed with meetings and explanations. Mira was impressed by Rin's calmness in every discussion. She began to see him as a teacher, a guide, and perhaps more. She felt respect and admiration growing in her heart. Later, in the palace training arena, Rin continued working with the soldiers. Mira observed from the balcony. Soldiers had improved in their movements, coordination, and morale. They moved with precision, following Rin's instructions and watching his example. Rin demonstrated techniques for balance, speed, and defense. He showed how to anticipate an opponent's moves, how to protect the weak, and how to act decisively. Each action seemed simple but was effective. Mira was amazed at how calm and confident he remained even during the most challenging exercises. During a break, Mira descended to speak with him. She wanted to know more about him, about humans, and about the courage he displayed. Rin, she said, you have shown us so much in such a short time. How do you remain calm in dangerous situations? Rin looked at her seriously. Fear is natural, but courage comes from knowing what must be done and doing it for the right reason. I act to protect others, not to prove myself. Mira nodded slowly. His words were simple, yet they carried meaning far deeper than she could express. She realized that strength was not only physical, but also mental and moral. Over the next few days, the bond between Mira and Rin grew. They walked in the gardens, talked about their worlds, and shared thoughts about life, honor, and responsibility. Mira discovered that Rin was not only strong, but also patient, wise, and thoughtful. He listened carefully and gave advice without judging. One afternoon, a message arrived from the outer colonies. Raiders had attacked a mining station in the northern sector. The humans had advanced weapons, but their purpose seemed to be chaos and fear rather than conquest. Mira immediately called Rin to the command room. We must respond quickly, she said. Your guidance will be vital. Can you help plan the defense? Rin nodded. We must first assess the situation. Then we can train soldiers for counteraction. Speed and coordination will be our advantage. Together, they reviewed maps and reports. Rin studied the terrain, the likely raider positions, and the resources available to the defenders. He suggested methods that balanced Zalora's technology with human strategy. His ideas were practical, effective, and careful. Mira could see the advantage of having him lead and guide her people. During the planning, Mira noticed something she had not seen before. Rin observed not only the immediate problem, but also the bigger picture. He asked questions about the raiders' motivations, their origins, and possible allies. His focus on long-term consequences surprised her. Humans, she realized, were not only strong in battle, but also wise in thought. The next day, Rin led a small team of Zaloran soldiers to the northern sector for reconnaissance. Mira accompanied him, wanting to see his methods in action. The journey was long, but Rin remained calm. He taught the soldiers to observe carefully, move quietly, and avoid unnecessary risks. At the mining station, they discovered signs of the raiders' presence, damaged equipment, footprints, and traces of energy weapons. Rin analyzed the scene quickly. They want to scare people, not destroy them completely. Their goal is intimidation. Mira listened, impressed by his insight. Rin had already predicted the raiders' strategy before seeing the full situation. How can we stop them? She asked. By acting before they strike again, Rin replied. We need preparation, training, and discipline. Then we can protect the colonies and prevent fear from spreading. Over the following days, Rin worked tirelessly with the soldiers. He showed them how to improve defenses, use terrain to their advantage, and coordinate in small teams. He also taught them to remain calm under pressure, showing that courage was a skill as well as a feeling. Mira watched him carefully. She admired his dedication and selflessness. He did not seek praise or reward. He only focused on helping her people. The bond between them grew stronger. Mira began to see Rin not only as a teacher, but also as a trusted companion. One evening, after a long day of training, Mira walked with Rin through the palace gardens. The twin moon shone brightly, reflecting in the water of the fountains. "You amaze me, Rin," she said softly. "You are strong, wise, and humble. I do not understand humans fully, but I feel that you can teach us much." Rin smiled gently. "Thank you, Princess Mira. I only hope to help. Your people are capable. They only need guidance and encouragement." Mira paused. She realized that humans, like Rin, had a different way of seeing strength. They combined courage, intelligence, and morality in a way her people had rarely seen. She felt admiration and respect, and something deeper began to grow, a feeling of trust and hope. The next challenge came sooner than expected. Scouts reported that raiders were gathering forces near the northern edge of the planet. Mira called Rin to the palace immediately. "They are planning a larger attack," she said. "We must act quickly." Rin studied the reports and maps carefully. "We will not wait for them to strike. We will train our forces, position defenses, and show strength. Fear can be defeated with courage and preparation." Mira nodded. She felt calm knowing Rin was in charge of strategy. His presence inspired confidence not only in her, but also in the soldiers and citizens. Over the next several days, Rin continued training soldiers, improving defenses, and teaching coordination. The soldiers responded with enthusiasm. They moved faster, acted with confidence, and learned to trust each other. Rin's leadership transformed them into a capable force. Mira spent time observing him at work. She realized that strength was not only about fighting, but also about guidance, patience, and understanding. Rin embodied all of these qualities. Her admiration for him grew, and she felt a deep respect for his character. One morning, as the training session ended, Rin approached Mira. "Princess Mira, the soldiers are ready. They have learned much in a short time. I believe they can protect the colonies and the city if needed." Mira smiled. "You have done more than teach them. You have inspired them. And you have inspired me as well." Rin looked at her calmly. "Inspiration comes from action, not words. Your people have courage within them. I only help bring it out." Mira felt a surge of admiration and gratitude. She realized that humans like Rin could make a difference not only through strength but through character, courage, and wisdom. She understood that the future of Zalora could change with his presence. As the sun set over the city, Mira and Rin walked together through the palace gardens. The air was cool. The fountains reflected the light of the moons, and the flowers released a gentle fragrance. Mira knew that challenges lay ahead, but with Rin by her side she felt hope and confidence. Humans, she realized, were not only strong, but also capable of inspiring courage and honor in others. Rin was living proof of that, and as the first true bond between a human and a Zelleran grew, Mira felt a sense of excitement for what the future might hold. The first step in a long journey had been taken, and Princess Mira knew that with Rin's guidance, the people of Zalora would not only survive but grow stronger, wiser, and more united. The morning sky over Zalora was calm and clear, but the peace was only temporary. Scouts had reported unusual activity near the capital, and rumors spread quickly through the city. Princess Mira stood in the command hall, reviewing the latest reports with Rin by her side. "They are stronger than before," said General Tilo, concern etched on his face. "The raiders are not only more numerous, but they have advanced weapons we have never seen. We cannot underestimate them." Rin studied the maps carefully. "We will not underestimate them," he said. "But we will not panic either. Planning, coordination, and courage will be our strength." Mira watched him silently, feeling reassured. Rin's calmness was infectious. The soldiers and advisors felt it too, as if the humans' quiet confidence gave them courage they had never known. By mid-morning, the first signs of attack appeared. Small scout ships from the raiders hovered above the city, firing energy pulses to test defenses. The palace guards responded quickly, using shields and countermeasures, but the raiders were clever, attacking in unpredictable ways. Rin moved among the soldiers, giving instructions, correcting positions, and observing the enemy's tactics. His knowledge of strategy was evident. He suggested dividing forces into small groups, using the city's terrain to their advantage, and focusing on defending key areas rather than chasing every attack. As the raid intensified, chaos threatened to overwhelm the palace. Mira remained in the command center coordinating communications, while Rin went to the front lines with the soldiers. The first clash happened near the outer gates. Raiders rushed forward wielding strange energy weapons, their movements fast and aggressive. The Zaloran guards fired back, but the raiders pushed harder than before. Then Rin stepped forward. His presence alone drew attention. With precise movements, he intercepted several attackers, disarming them and redirecting their energy pulses harmlessly into the ground. Soldiers watched in awe as he moved faster than any Zaloran they had ever seen, defending multiple positions at once. Mira watched through the tactical display, her heart pounding. Rin's strength was extraordinary, and his calmness made him even more remarkable. He was not reckless. Every action was deliberate and effective. The raiders were surprised. They had expected Zalora to resist, but not with such skill and precision. Rin anticipated their attacks, countered their moves, and protected the soldiers under his command. Every time a raider tried to break through a line, Rin was there, moving like a shadow, striking with strength and speed that left them off balance. One of the larger raiders attempted to breach the inner gate. Rin confronted it directly. The creature was taller than a Zaloran, with heavy armor and a long energy staff, but Rin was calm. He moved with precision, dodging the staff, finding its weak points, and using the creature's momentum against it. With a swift action, he disarmed it, knocking it down without causing serious injury. The soldiers cheered, their morale soaring. They saw what was possible when courage and skill combined. Rin continued to coordinate the defense while actively protecting key areas. Mira realized that his abilities went beyond physical strength. He inspired bravery and confidence in everyone around him. Meanwhile, the raiders adapted. They brought in more forces, trying to overwhelm the defenses with sheer numbers. But Rin remained focused. He directed soldiers to form protective formations, cover each other, and use their environment wisely. Even in the heat of battle, he remained calm, never panicking, never showing fear. As the battle continued, Mira could see the bond forming between Rin and the Zaloran soldiers. They trusted him implicitly, following his instructions without hesitation. Even those who had doubted the humans now saw Rin as a leader and a protector. The tide of battle began to turn. The raiders, expecting an easy victory, found themselves outmaneuvered. Rin anticipated their moves, predicting their attacks before they could act. His legendary strength and strategy created openings for the soldiers to push the enemy back. In one critical moment, a group of raiders tried to attack the command center directly. Rin moved faster than anyone could follow, intercepting them in the palace corridors. He used precise movements to disarm, block, and redirect them without harming them seriously. Mira watched through the palace cameras, her admiration growing with each action. When the final wave of raiders attempted to escape, Rin and the soldiers were ready. They surrounded the enemy, cutting off any chance of retreat. The raiders surrendered, realizing they could not win against the combined strength of humans and Zalorans. The city was safe, and the raiders were captured. Not a single civilian had been seriously harmed, thanks to Rin's guidance and leadership. Mira walked through the city streets with him, greeting soldiers and citizens alike. The people's eyes were wide with amazement and respect. They had witnessed a human fight with legendary strength and intelligence, and their perception of humans had changed forever. Mira finally turned to Rin. "I did not know humans could be like this," she said quietly. "You are more than strong. You are wise, brave, and honorable." Rin shook his head. "I only did what I must. Your people showed courage as well. Strength is nothing without the will to protect others." Mira felt a surge of admiration. She realized that Rin had taught her people not only how to defend themselves, but also how to act with courage and honor. He had shown that humans could be more than outsiders. They could be allies, teachers, and friends. After the battle, the palace held a gathering to honor the soldiers and those who had helped defend the city. Rin was invited to stand with Princess Mira. She addressed the crowd, praising the bravery of the soldiers and the guidance of their human ally. "Today, we witnessed courage, skill, and wisdom," Mira said. "We have learned that strength comes in many forms and that humans can be not only strong but also honorable and wise. We are grateful to Rin for showing us what is possible when courage and humility combine." The crowd cheered, and Rin bowed respectfully. He did not seek recognition, yet the admiration was clear. The soldiers approached him, asking questions, seeking advice, and expressing gratitude. Mira watched, her heart filled with pride and respect. That evening, as the city settled and the injured were treated, Mira and Rin walked through the palace gardens. The twin moons reflected softly in the fountains and the air was calm. "You have changed how I see humans," Mira said. "I thought you were only visitors. Now I see that humans can be allies, protectors, and teachers. You have more strength and wisdom than I imagined." Rin smiled gently. "Thank you, Princess Mira. Humans can do much, but courage, honor, and wisdom exist in all who choose to act rightly. Your people have shown that they can rise to challenges. I only help guide them." Mira nodded, realizing that the journey ahead would be long and full of challenges. But with Rin by her side, she felt hope. Humans, she understood now, were capable of extraordinary things. Their strength, combined with courage and wisdom, could inspire entire civilizations. As they walked together, Mira reflected on the battle. Rin had not only protected the city but had also inspired her people. The soldiers moved with confidence, and the citizens felt safer knowing such courage existed among humans. Mira felt admiration and respect, and a deep sense of trust. She knew that more challenges would come. The raiders were only the beginning. Strange technology, unknown enemies, and dangers from the galaxy awaited. But Mira also knew that with Rin's guidance, her people could face anything. The first true test had been passed. Rin had fought with legendary strength, showing courage, intelligence, and honor. He had changed the perception of humans in the eyes of Zalorans, proving that even a single human could make a difference in the survival and growth of a civilization. Princess Mira looked at Rin, seeing not only a warrior but a teacher, a guide, and a trusted ally. She knew that together, they could face any challenge. The bond between them had grown stronger in the heat of battle, and the people of Zalora would never forget the day when a human fought with legendary strength to protect them. The night settled over the city, calm and quiet. The battle was over, but the journey had only begun. Mira and Rin walked side by side through the palace gardens, knowing that the future would be full of trials, discoveries, and perhaps even greater threats. But for now, they had victory, courage, and mutual respect. And in that moment, Princess Mira understood something important. Strength alone was not enough. True heroism required courage, wisdom, humility, and the will to protect others. Rin had shown her all of these, and she knew that humans, like him, could change the destiny of her planet in ways she had never imagined. After the raiders' attack on the capital, the city of Zalora began to recover. The streets were filled with citizens repairing minor damages, soldiers training, and engineers restoring the outer defenses. Princess Mira walked through the palace halls thinking about what had happened. She was proud of her people and of Rin, whose courage and legendary strength had inspired everyone. Yet, a nagging worry remained. The raiders had not come alone. Their weapons were advanced far beyond what Zalora had seen. Mira knew that their attack was only part of a larger plan. She called Rin to her chambers to discuss the next steps. "Rin," she said as he entered, "the raiders fought differently this time. Their technology is unusual, and their strategy seems deliberate. I fear they may have allies or a hidden base. What do you think?" Rin studied her seriously. "You are correct, Princess Mira. This attack was planned and coordinated. The weapons they used are not their own. Someone provided them. We must discover the source if we are to protect your planet and the colonies." Mira nodded. "Then we must investigate. Will you help lead the team?" Rin bowed slightly. "I will, Princess. We need to act quickly before they strike again." They assembled a small group of trusted soldiers and advisors. Mira stayed at the command center to coordinate communications, while Rin led the reconnaissance team to the northern sector where the raiders had originated. The journey was tense as no one knew what dangers awaited them. Rin moved carefully, teaching the soldiers to observe without being detected. They examined the terrain, noting signs of the raiders' presence, footprints, broken plants, and traces of energy weapons. Rin pointed out details the others would have missed, showing how careful observation could reveal the enemy's intentions. "This is not a random attack," Rin explained. "They are organized, and their weapons were likely stolen from another advanced civilization. If we can find their base, we may learn who is behind this." Mira, observing through communication links, felt admiration for Rin's calmness and intelligence. He not only had strength in battle but also the wisdom to analyze situations, predict moves, and plan carefully. She realized that humans could offer guidance and leadership that was rare even among Zaloran commanders. The team continued the investigation, following the raiders' trail. They discovered a hidden path through dense forests and rocky hills. Rin led the way, carefully stepping to avoid triggering traps or alarms. The soldiers watched closely, learning from his movements, and gradually adopted his methods of stealth and observation. Finally, after several hours of careful tracking, they discovered a hidden cave system. Strange lights and low hums of energy emanated from within. Rin signaled for silence and examined the entrance. He could see that the raiders had built a concealed base inside, using stolen technology to power their weapons and defenses. They are not alone, Rin whispered to the soldiers. Someone is supplying them with resources. We must gather information before we attack. Knowledge will be our advantage. Mira, observing from the command center, listened carefully to Rin's instructions. He coordinated remotely, directing scouts to monitor the base while avoiding detection. His plan was precise, ensuring that no one was exposed unnecessarily. Over the next few days, Rin and the reconnaissance team studied the enemy base. They observed patterns of movement, defenses, and weapon storage. Rin explained to the soldiers that understanding the enemy was as important as strength in battle. If we act without knowledge, he said, we may fail. Strength must be guided by intelligence and strategy. During this time, Mira and Rin communicated often. She marveled at his calm thinking, even in dangerous situations. Your patience is remarkable, she said. I have never seen anyone study an enemy so carefully without rushing into action. Rin smiled gently. Patience is part of strategy. Acting too quickly can create mistakes. Strength is most effective when it is combined with thought. As the investigation continued, Rin discovered a critical piece of information. The raiders' weapons had markings that indicated a manufacturing origin from a distant system. These were not ordinary raiders. They were agents of a larger network, one that sought to destabilize peaceful planets and control resources. This changes everything, Rin said to Mira during a communication session. The raiders are only a part of a much bigger threat. If we do not act carefully, other planets may suffer the same attacks. Mira felt a mixture of fear and determination. She knew that her people could not face this alone, but with Rin's guidance she felt they had a chance. Then we must stop them, she said firmly. We cannot allow fear to spread, Rin nodded. We will need a plan that uses both intelligence and strength. We will gather evidence, disable their base, and protect the colonies, but we must act carefully. Over the next several days, Rin prepared a small strike team. He combined Zaloran soldiers with human expertise, teaching them advanced tactics for stealth, coordination, and defense. Mira watched as the soldiers trained under his guidance. Their movements became precise, their teamwork improved, and their confidence grew. Finally, the day came for the team to confront the enemy base. Rin led the group through the hidden paths, carefully avoiding traps and detection. The soldiers followed his example, moving quietly, watching every detail and trusting his guidance. Upon reaching the base, Rin observed the entrance. We will not attack blindly, he said. We must gather information and disable their key resources first. Then we can neutralize the threat safely. The team split into small groups as Rin instructed. Some monitored the enemy, while others prepared to disable the energy supply and communication devices. Rin moved with precision, using his strength only when necessary. He lifted heavy doors, redirected energy flows, and protected his team with calm authority. Inside the base, they discovered not only the raiders but also advanced technology that had been stolen from other planets. Rin carefully examined it, understanding how the enemy operated and planning how to disable it. He explained to the soldiers that defeating an enemy was not always about fighting. It was about removing their advantage and protecting the vulnerable. Mira observed from the command center, amazed by Rin's ability to coordinate remotely while also handling critical tasks directly. His strength was legendary, but it was his intelligence and calmness that truly made the difference. After several hours of careful work, the team had gathered critical intelligence. They had disabled key weapons, recorded data about the raiders' allies, and mapped the entire base. Rin signaled for withdrawal, ensuring the team returned safely. Not a single soldier was lost, and the mission had been a complete success. Back at the palace, Rin reported to Mira. Princess, we have discovered the source of the raiders' strength. They are part of a larger network, using stolen technology to attack peaceful planets. We have gathered the evidence and disabled their weapons. Your people are safe for now, and we now know what we face. Mira felt relief and pride. Rin had not only protected her people, but had also uncovered a secret that could threaten the entire galaxy. "You are extraordinary, Rin," she said. "Your strength, wisdom, and leadership have saved not only Zalora, but potentially many other planets." Rin shook his head humbly. "I only do what is necessary. Your people have courage, and with proper guidance they can protect themselves. Strength is most effective when it inspires others and protects the vulnerable." Mira realized that humans, like Rin, had a unique combination of physical power, intelligence, and humility. They could inspire courage, teach strategy, and lead by example. She felt admiration, respect, and a growing bond with him. In the following days, Mira and Rin worked together to strengthen Zalora's defenses. Soldiers trained with new tactics. Citizens learned safety measures, and the palace prepared for any future threats. Rin continued to teach not only combat skills but also the importance of courage, honor, and teamwork. The discovery of the enemy's secret had changed everything. Zalora was no longer isolated. The galaxy was full of threats and challenges, but with humans like Rin, Mira felt hope. She knew that strength alone was not enough. Wisdom, strategy, and humility were just as important. As the twin moons rose over the palace gardens, Mira walked beside Rin. "You have taught us so much," she said softly. "I thought strength was only about fighting, but now I see it is also about wisdom, patience, and guidance." Rin smiled gently. "Strength is most meaningful when it protects and inspires others. Your people are capable. They only needed guidance to bring out their courage." Mira felt a deep sense of trust and admiration. She knew that the challenges ahead would be greater than any they had faced so far, but with Rin by her side, she felt confident. Humans could make a difference, not just through physical strength, but through intelligence, honor, and courage. And so Princess Mira and Rin prepared for the next stage of their journey. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers, but they were ready. Together, they would face whatever threats came, using strength guided by wisdom and courage. The discovery of the Raider's secret was only the beginning. With each challenge, the bond between Mira and Rin grew stronger. And with each success, the people of Zalora saw that humans, though different, could be heroes, allies, and teachers. The future awaited, and with Rin's guidance, Zalora was ready to meet it with courage, intelligence, and hope. The morning sun shone brightly over Zalora, casting warm light across the palace and city. Princess Mira stood on the high balcony, looking at the streets below. The citizens moved with purpose, rebuilding, training, and preparing for the future. The raids and attacks were over, thanks to Rin's guidance, but the memory of danger remained fresh in everyone's minds. Rin stood beside her, calm and composed as always. Despite his quiet demeanor, his presence gave Mira a sense of confidence. He had led the soldiers with legendary strength, discovered the enemy's secret, and inspired the people of Zalora to face challenges with courage and wisdom. "Princess Mira," Rin said softly, "your people have shown remarkable courage. They have learned quickly and adapted. Together, we have strengthened not only the city but also the spirit of your people." Mira smiled. "And you have taught us so much, Rin. Your strength, your strategy, and your patience have changed the way we see humans. We understand now that courage, wisdom, and honor are all connected." The citizens of Zalora had gathered in the main plaza to celebrate the victory and the return of peace. Soldiers marched with pride, citizens cheered, and children waved banners showing symbols of unity. Mira and Rin stepped forward to address the crowd. "People of Zalora," Mira said, her voice steady and clear, "we have faced a great danger together. With courage, wisdom, and unity, we have defended our home. Today we celebrate not only our survival, but the strength we have discovered within ourselves." The crowd erupted in cheers. Soldiers saluted, and the citizens raised their voices in applause. Rin stepped forward and spoke as well, his tone calm but filled with sincerity. "The true strength of Zalora," he said, "is not only in its weapons or defenses. It is in its people, the courage to act, the wisdom to think, and the determination to protect one another. You have shown that true strength comes from unity and honor." The applause grew louder. Citizens looked at Rin with awe and respect. They had seen him fight with extraordinary skill, lead with intelligence, and protect with courage. His humility and calmness made his actions even more inspiring. Many realized that humans, though different, could be true allies and teachers. After the ceremony, Mira and Rin walked through the plaza, greeting soldiers and citizens. People thanked Rin for his guidance and protection. Children stared in wonder at him, imagining what it would be like to grow up with such strength and wisdom. Mira watched, her heart filled with pride and admiration. That evening, the palace held a smaller private celebration. Mira spoke to Rin quietly, reflecting on the journey they had shared. "You have changed the way we think about humans," she said. "I used to think you were only visitors, perhaps even strangers. Now I see that humans can be heroes, allies, and friends. You have proven that strength is not only about power, but also about courage, intelligence, and humility." Rin shook his head modestly. "I only do what is necessary, Princess Mira. Your people have courage and intelligence. I merely guide and support. True strength is in those who act to protect others." Mira felt a deep sense of respect and trust. She realized that humans like Rin could inspire entire civilizations. They could teach lessons that went beyond technology and strategy. They could teach honor, courage, and responsibility. Over the next few days, Rin worked with Zalora's leaders to implement long-term strategies for defense and cooperation. He shared insights about interplanetary threats, helped improve communication systems, and trained soldiers and citizens in techniques for safety and coordination. Mira observed his methods carefully. She noticed that Rin's strength was not only physical but also moral and intellectual. He taught patience, observation, and strategy alongside combat skills. His influence encouraged people to think, act, and care for one another. The soldiers had changed. They moved with confidence, coordinated with precision, and faced challenges without fear. They learned to combine strength with wisdom, and many admitted that they had never felt so prepared. Citizens also felt inspired. Children trained with toys that mimicked the soldiers' formations, learning teamwork and observation. Adults discussed strategies for resource management and safety. Rin had not only protected them, but had sparked a new way of thinking. One afternoon, Mira and Rin walked together in the palace gardens. The twin moons reflected in the fountains, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of flowers. Mira thought about the journey they had shared, the arrival of humans, the first skirmishes, the raiders' attacks, and the discovery of the enemy's secret. "Rin," she said softly, "you have done more than defend my planet. You have changed the hearts and minds of our people. You have inspired courage, wisdom, and honor. I do not know if I will ever find words to thank you." Rin smiled gently. "Your people already possess these qualities. I only helped them see their own strength. True guidance comes from inspiring others, not from taking credit." Mira felt a warm sense of trust and admiration. She knew that their bond had grown stronger through shared challenges and victories. Rin had shown that humans could make a lasting difference, not only through physical power but through intelligence, patience, and humility. The final celebration came when Zalora invited neighboring planets to witness their recovery and unity. Leaders and citizens from other worlds arrived, curious to see the human who had fought with legendary strength and the princess who had inspired her people. Mira addressed the gathering, her voice calm and confident. "We have faced challenges that threatened not only our planet, but the safety of our neighbors. Through courage, wisdom, and cooperation, we have overcome these threats. We have learned that strength comes in many forms, through physical power, intelligence, and the will to protect others." Rin stood beside her, respected and admired by all. He spoke calmly to the assembly, sharing insights about teamwork, observation, and strategy. "True strength," he said, "is the combination of courage, wisdom, and humility. Every civilization has potential, and every person can make a difference if they act with honor and care for others." The gathering ended with celebration and camaraderie. Zalora's people had not only survived, they had grown stronger, wiser, and more united. Rin's presence had left a lasting impression, showing that humans could be heroes and teachers across the galaxy. As the festival continued, Mira and Rin walked through the plaza, watching the joy and admiration of the citizens. Mira reflected on how far they had come, from the arrival of humans to the legendary battles and the discovery of the enemy's secrets. She realized that strength was not only about fighting, but also about inspiring others and leading with wisdom. "You have shown me something important, Rin," she said quietly. "Strength is more than power. It is courage, guidance, and honor. You have taught us all this through your actions." Rin looked at her calmly. The greatest strength is in those who protect, inspire, and guide others. Your people have shown this as well. I only helped them see it. Mira smiled, feeling hope for the future. She knew that challenges would come again, but with humans like Rin and the courage of her people, Zalora would face them with confidence. The bond between them symbolized trust, unity, and mutual respect, qualities that would inspire generations to come. In the quiet of the palace gardens, Mira realized that Rin's presence had changed her life and the destiny of her planet. Humans, she understood now, were not only capable of extraordinary strength but also of inspiring courage and honor in others. Rin had proven that a single human could make a difference, not just with power but with wisdom, humility, and guidance. As the twin moons rose over Zalora, casting their gentle light over the city, Mira and Rin stood side by side looking at the horizon. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown challenges, but they were ready. Together they had faced danger, discovered secrets, and protected their people. Together they would continue to build a future filled with courage, wisdom, and unity. Princess Mira felt a deep sense of gratitude and admiration. Rin had shown her people and her planet that humans could be heroes, teachers, and allies. The story of his legendary strength, his intelligence, and his humility would be remembered for generations. And so Zalora entered a new era. Citizens were stronger, wiser, and more united. Soldiers were confident and skilled. Children dreamed of courage and honor. And in the heart of the palace, Princess Mira and Rin knew that together, humans and Zalorans could face any challenge, protect one another, and inspire hope across the stars. The journey had been long and filled with challenges, but it had also been filled with discovery, growth, and unity. Rin had proven that humans could make a lasting difference, not only through their strength but through courage, intelligence, and humility. As the festival lights shimmered across the city and the citizens celebrated, Mira turned to Rin. "I am grateful for you. Rin, you have changed our lives and our future."